Hello, I'm Anita Berry for Edmond Spotlight, and I'm here today with Janet Yowell, who's with the Edmond Economic Development Authority. Janet, thank you for being here. It's good to have you. Janet, you and I have both lived in Edmond for many, many years, and we know the things that make Edmond such a special place to live. But for somebody who's not familiar with Edmond, what are some of those things some key factors that you think make it such a unique place to live?
I'd say the main factors really are education, cost of living, safety. Edmond is just a great, safe place to live, and then the activities that we have in town.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about those in detail, if you don't mind. You're right about the education. I would say that Edmond has a great reputation, not just locally, but I have friends on the other side of the state that are very familiar with Edmond's school reputation and the quality of education that you can get here. What do you think? Why do you think that is?
Well, I think there's several factors. We attract more of an educated population, and the more educated the parents are, the more they're going to pay attention to their kids' schooling. We've passed bond elections probably for the last 40 years now, and which is a main way that the school system pays for things, for improvements in that. So when you have caring parents, you're going to have a better school system. And the Edmond public school system is really a key factor why people move here. The public education that you get is probably second to none in the state of Oklahoma. The graduation rate is over 94%. 93% of our kids go on to college, and there's an opportunity for advanced placement classes and activities of all kind.
And you mentioned cost of living. Can you touch on that a little bit too?
We actually do quarterly cost of living comparisons with several thousand communities across the country. This past year, it's been consistent at 11.2% below the national average. So it's a great value when you look at our real estate costs, and then the overall cost of living is cheaper. It's another reason why, it's a good place to come in, and you can have a really good quality of life.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I've been surprised to hear friends who move from maybe coasts that will say, we couldn't believe how much house we could get in Edmond versus what they were used to. So I guess that
we do a lot of comparisons for people that are moving in that want to know what the difference is in the cost of living, or when they're being transferred somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So we get a lot of phone calls on that, and we keep track of all those and can compare those.
Okay, that's great. And you mentioned safety, and I would agree with that too. I feel like it does feel like a very safe, family-oriented place to live. What is the crime rate, would you say?
We look at it in crimes per thousand, and we are the lowest city in the state with populations over 10,000. And that is compared on a whole list of crimes, violent crimes, all the way down to burglaries and vandalism. We just really compare well. We have a good police force, and because of the kind of people that we attract in the community, people tend to take care of their things more, and that just factors into people taking care of their own property, watching out for their neighbors, and kids, and that just.
And Janet, because of those things, because it is so family oriented, is that the reason we have so many activities available here?
We do have a lot of activities, and it really is what makes Edmond still feel like a small town. We really are a suburb, a large suburb with 83,000 people, but we do have an identity with our downtown area. Downtown Edmond alone has 4 or 5 major events per year, including the Edmond Arts Festival, 4th of July activities, Christmas activities, and a trick-or-treat event. And then there is a farmer's market all throughout the spring and summer. So it attracts a lot of people down there. Other than that, we have 30 parks in Edmond, a very green-oriented community, a whole lot of youth sports, a lot of opportunities for everything from rugby, lacrosse, soccer, baseball, and everything else that you can imagine. We do have a trails master plan that is being implemented piece by piece. We're nowhere near complete on that, but there is a plan for that. to connect our community all the way across. Arcadia Lake is also one of those parks, and there's just a host of activities going on out there. Everything from just biking on the trails out there, swimming, boating, canoeing, camping. So that's also a wonderful amenity that we have. We have a lot of public art, and there's a big public art initiative. Businesses can actually ask the city to go in on pieces of public art, and you'll see those all throughout the city, especially downtown. Mm-hmm. So it's just another thing that adds to the quality of life and the amenities that are just make Edmond extra special.
Okay, Janet, you mentioned the cost of living is so great also here in Edmond, and this may tie into it, but it seems like real estate in Edmond always is a booming place to be. And I know I can think of many friends I have who work maybe 30, 40, even an hour away, but they choose to live in Edmond. Do you see that also?
We do, and we see it in a whole lot of different kind of job descriptions. I'd say Tinker Air Force Base, a major employer across the state. I think Tinker employs people from almost all of our 77 counties in Oklahoma. We really get a lot of people from Tinker, and a lot of the officers especially. That tends to be because they come in, they don't know how long they're going to stay, maybe just a couple of years. They know that the value of the real estate is good. If they want to get their kids in the school system, that's good. And then it tends to be easier for them to sell their house when it comes time for them to move. So our real estate really does tend to be a reason that people move here. You can get land. You can get in neighborhoods that have a lot of amenities, that have pools, or you can get just land and have horses on it. So there is a wide variety. Edmond is about 90 square miles. I-35 runs geographically right down the middle of our city limits. So if you go on the east side of I-35, it tends to be larger lot developments, and the homes out there just are more spread out, more trees, and on the west side of I-35, more conventional neighborhoods.
You know, you've mentioned the small town atmosphere, and that is one of my favorite things about it, because I did grow up in a small town, and so I love living in a small town atmosphere, but having all of these great amenities. It's a great place to live and work and play and shop, and it just has all of those luxuries here with that still small town feel.
You're right. We have 40 shopping centers in town, everything from 200,000 square feet centers to just your neighborhood strip center. And we do have a lot of local shops, which again gives it that small town feel, and some are kind of eclectic and funky, and that's always fun, especially for tourists when they come in town and when they're coming in for an event. So we have those scattered really throughout the city. A good number of them are downtown, and then we have them across the community. It really is, I think, what adds to the national shops that we also have.
The EEDA has a lot of resources and some great information out there for folks who are considering relocating to Edmond. Is that right, Janet?
Yes, it is. Everything that we do, we really keep on our website at eeda.com. We have everything from maps, all kinds of maps, aerial maps, zoning maps, maps that show where our parks are, where the real estate is. We also keep all kinds of demographic information, so that helps. Sometimes on the residential side and a lot on the business side. We keep cost of living information. That is probably one of the most important and most frequently asked for reports that we can do. We can customize a report for whatever your needs are.
And if you're interested in more information about Edmond, Oklahoma, you can go to the website that Janet just mentioned, which is eeda.com or edmondspotlight.com. Thank you.